Top of the morning to you, you lovely peoples, you lovely spirits, souls out there having fun out in the sun. So, you know, that's pretty funny. One is like, shave, and I'll subscribe. All right, so now I got a bald pinky, I've shaved, and now you're telling me still shave. First off, you're not being specific. I don't know what you're talking about. Shave what? My armpits, my eyebrows, my elbows? What the fuck are you talking about, shave? And how does my shaving help anyone in this world? You know, I get it. Some people can't grow a mustache. That's all right. They can't grow a beard. That's all right. You know, that's not why I'm growing my hair. My hair is growing. And what difference does it make for someone else about me growing my hair? You know? How does that improve? Is that gonna improve our videos? Me looking all fucking Adonis chiseled out shit. Maybe I should take my shirt off and show you how brolic I am. Start lacing shit up, you know? But that's not the whole point of this. That's not what we're doing. I'm not here to show you how awesome I am. That's not the point. It's to call you guys to come through, man. See? We got these awesome little spots. You know, nice little hikes with the dog. And I'll tell you a story. Must have been around 15 or something like that. Yo, my image meant so much to me. So much. You know, building this character. And at the time I was riding bikes too. There was a place out on Myrtle. It was called Woodchuck. Some people are familiar with Woodchuck. We used to go in there and we used to build dirt ramps for bikes and go off sets of doubles, tabletops, and you know, burns and all this really awesome stuff. And we used to have so much fun in there. And one time I got poison ivy. Yo, it got so bad. I looked like the dude from The Mask with Cher. Film with Cher, The Mask, the old one. Yo, my whole face was like, yo, Iz next door, he was he's standing on the stoop. I'm like, yo, what's up, Iz? He's like, who the fuck are you? He takes a step back. I'm like, man, it's me, Save, what's up? He was like, what happened to your face, man? I was like, I got poison ivy. Couldn't even recognize me, man. It was pretty bad. But the greatest part about it was around Halloween. But what I recall is how fucking sad and depressed I was that I was gonna look like this. My face was gonna look like this. I'm never gonna look the same. It was crazy. Like, I was, at that moment, I was suicidal. I would rather kill myself than my face look like this. Yo, and it was Halloween and my boys came through and they're like, yo, you gotta come outside, man, it's fucking Halloween. It's like, it can't be that bad. I was like, yo, it's bad. I had the fan, a little fan with a wet rag over my head, over the fan. The fan is blowing at my face and I'm just sitting there, you know, trying to not touch it because it's itchy as a mug. Going crazy. And we ended up going out. And I'm grateful that I went out. The only thing is, another rider, this kid Sil, I don't know why I was wearing a mask, but it was a scary movie mask. I was 90 something. And he was spraying the back of my head. And I turn around and the shaving cream gets into my eyes. And I take the mask off and I'm like, ah! And he's like, ah! He's like, oh shit. I said, look at what you did to my man. So now I started messing with him. He was like, oh man. He felt so bad, but I was like, no, eventually realized that the face was like, he couldn't have just happened like that. Spray paint hit your face and you have an allergic reaction. But, it was just how crazy. I could recall how important it was, my face, that I would be willing to fucking end my life because my face looked like some elephantitis shit. How vain, how fucking vain. And I ended up having to go to the hospital because it wasn't going away. It was getting worse, and it was, like, man, maybe this thing is gonna swell out of control and I won't be able to breathe. So that's that story. We've come a long way. So the objective here is to talk to you guys about the moga. I could share some stories about my journey and stuff like that. But the idea is the moga, really. You see what's going on. The whole thing with 2020 to, to now, since the whole, I'm not even going to say anything about any of this stuff. Everyone is aware of what's going on. So I'm not even going to say anything about it. If you don't know what's going on by now, then that's it. There's really not much I can say for you. I love you. All I have to say is open your eyes, your ears, and your heart. Take your shoes off and listen to what she's saying, because she's been screaming for a while. Not many people have been listening, but it's okay. So you can see that technology is increasing. The amount of data that's been collected is beyond comprehension. It's beyond comprehension. So artificial intelligence, was introduced to the public. They say that this was just created a few years ago. There's a place called in Hong Kong. You can look it up, and they basically created this AI and robots. And this AI robot has gone around. Many probably know what I'm talking about. It's it identifies as a her. It's been in the grid, so to speak. According to whatever I'm aware of, is that these things can multiply themselves in an infinite time. So once you put an AI inside the internet, inside the inside the mainframe, whatever it is, I'm not too familiar with all these things. It's just all I could do is to let my imagination, kind of fill in the blanks, and basically on what we've seen, in the films and everything, is basically telling us stuff. Yeah, there's different scenarios where this stuff can go, right? So if that's the case, and there's a potential to be concerned, for a lot of people who rely upon jobs. I've never really relied upon anyone, employing me, let's say. I've always found a way to take care of myself. We're staying within the limits of the, don't get it twisted. I'm some fucking kingpin or some shit. It's the last thing we need is, attract any sort of stupidity like that. The job that you do, ask yourself, Can a robot do my job? Can a computer do my job better than me? And it you may think that it's not now, but in the next couple years, just imagine how things are going. So you have this AI that's never got to eat, sleep, or rest. It just keeps going. So it can multiply itself and then study multiple subjects, multiple topics, and just keep going and going and going and going. Like unlimited amount of things, and it's observing everything. So there's this talk about the Internet of Things, and supposedly in Silicon Valley, you've got some of these guys already creating an altar to worship the AI God. So there's also something like, this has all happened before. We've all been here. Exactly how many times has this happened? That I don't know if I've never met anyone who really knows. I've listened to a few different masters along the path talk about things, but never got down to there's a brother now who's sharing with us, in this awesome Facebook group that my cousin invited me to. He's sharing with us some things, and I'll be inviting you guys there, those who ask. And what's the point of all this? So I'm looking at all this stuff, and then I'm getting into this sort of doomsday. All these signs, these birds falling out the sky, this, things that are written in the Revelations and Hopi Indians and, the Mayans. I was ready to bounce. 2011, 2012, I went to go live out on an island, so right? And then now they're talking about a great reset. So I made a mistake. That whole thing, the New World Order, all that stuff, I misinterpreted what my whole shit was like. Just get the fuck out of the city, go chill on an island with your family, and live out the rest of your life. So some people are aware, yo, you gotta get out of the city, man. This is, because how people gonna behave once once the food supply is not gone. How people are gonna behave and all this. So we can all take care of ourselves. I planted my first garden last year. Yo, it was so beautiful. It was so awesome. And there was a couple of techniques that I used. I'll share with you guys. Come on, pup. Yeah. There's a few awesome techniques. And it's basically for us to be self-sufficient. Why we rely upon anyone else or anything. You got dirt beneath your feet. I got a lot of people who are in the city, so all right, it's tough. But you're in a city. A city is a gold mine. You go inside a gold mine, you get the gold, and you get out. You stay in the city. You're relying upon the city, unless you got an indoor greenhouse. You got an indoor greenhouse. You got some plants. If the supermarket stops serving food, you gonna be all right. You gonna be all right. You got a couple chickens in your house. You got some mouse traps, rat traps. You see, in times of famine, you look into history, in the cities, there were no rats left. There were no pigeons. The people ate everything. No cats, no dogs. Everything got eaten in the cities. You know? And these so-called leaders who are printing out money on a fucking trillion scale. I mean, trillions of dollars. Like, yo, can you imagine? I mean, imagine what you could do with $1 million. Now, a trillion? Just 1 trillion. It's fucking so much. I mean, we had playgrounds as a kid that were pretty awesome. We had these awesome playgrounds. Excuse me. And they were gonna renovate the park. They come in with some metal nonsense. I was so sad. I was like, oh, what did they do? They messed up the whole park, and they come over here with this stupid upgrade. We used to be able to play manhunt and tag with no floors. We could jump from obstacle to fence to bench to swing back to obstacle. Scale the whole side of the fence. Never touch the floor once. And play tag. You can't do that in any park anymore that I'm aware of. They got those metal things. Okay, yeah, it's easy maintenance, you know. And I've had these conversations with people on the phone too. We spoke about this, and it's like, yeah, all right, that makes sense because, yeah, maintenance and this and that. But still, all right, so with that idea of maintenance and keeping things down, why wouldn't we invest more in our parks? Why wouldn't we invest more in the things for us, for our youth to do, to improve, to master in their skills and stuff like that? And it's like, oh, it becomes clearer and clearer and clearer. It's like this system isn't really seeming like it's designed to set people free or to help people improve. But at the same time, the system itself is here for us. It's like double-sided. I don't fucking know. I really don't. I know that it's better for me to be taking care of myself, though, than to rely upon any institution. You know? Taking care of thine self. Taking care of thine family. And that was this whole place. You know? It's like there's a lot of this space, and I really wish to share it while I have it, because I don't know how much longer I'm gonna have it. I don't know how much longer I'm gonna be around, and it'd be nice to connect with you people out there. It would be really nice. And share some of the things with you, while you're here that, probably won't be able to share with you over this device. To help give you guys a bit of insight into what's going on. Perhaps, see that there is a silver lining in all this. Something really beautiful is in the works. Something really incredible is coming to our world. It's happening. It's really happening every moment. It's just a matter of us paying attention to see it. Because whatever it is, it has to be, there's rules where these things are shown to us and agreements that are made in order for things to happen. Notices that people get put on. I asked what I was doing up here a while back, a few years, and my desire was to have a place that had a fireplace, that I had a fireplace, a house with a fireplace, so that there was no electricity, I could still keep the family warm with fire. And then outside that we could have a fire pit, and then there'd be some tree somewhere that I could hang a rope from that we could just swing around, because that's so much fun. And we ended up with this place. At first it was advertised as like somewhere like 100 acres. I mean, the cost of rent was very little. Like for this whole place, it's an hour from New York City. A place that you'd find New York City renting, studio, like basically one room, is what you'd pay for this whole place. Even less. And because of what I was able to do as far as trades and crafts and barter, it got to be even less with more. I was able to negotiate it that way. So like, all right. But originally it's like, because I don't know about owning stuff. I don't really get that. I still don't get it yet. We've got someone who's guiding us to get it. But I just don't get how you can own any of this. Like the whole entire land, like you own the land. So that would mean that this leaf is mine. I own this. And it's hard for my mind to comprehend. I have a leaf in my hand. I can do as I wish with it. But do I own it? Is it mine? It's the same concept with like people and their kids. Like, these are mine, my kids. My uncle used to always break it down to me like, nah, these aren't my kids. These are God's kids. I often ask, like, is that a way to absolve oneself of being responsible for taking care of the things we have? Like, well, no, it's not mine. It's God's. But there is something deep in there. And, the natives of this land, they knew it. I mean, we're stewards of this. We're here to tend to this. We're given all these elements to play with, to create something. And what are we creating? All of us. What are we creating? We created, nuclear and atomic energy, supposedly. I don't know. I wasn't in a laboratory, but that's what we were told. And this power could be like, electrifying an entire city, with no bill. Like the substance that they use, all right, maybe everyone could make a one-time payment so that the original cost of everything went in, and everyone would have free electricity.